All right, let's start by bringing you the key takeaways from the budget. In a big relief to the middle class, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced an increased income tax exemption for those with income up to 12 lakh rupees per annum. Listen to the details of the revised income tax slabs.
In the new tax regime, I propose to revise tax rate structures as follows: 0 to 4 lakh rupees nil, 4.8 lakh rupees to 4 to 8 lakh rupees 5%, 8 to 12 lakh rupees 10%, 12 to 16 lakh rupees 15%, 16 to 20 lakh rupees 20%, 20 to 24 lakh rupees 25%, and above 24 lakh rupees 30%.
Now, what this effectively means is that people earning a salary of up to 12 lakh rupees will not have to pay tax. The government says the income tax announcement will provide a relief to the middle class and boost consumption and demand. Sitharaman emphasized that the budget's key focus is on uplifting the poor, youth, farmers and women. The Finance Minister also launched several incentives to boost agriculture and businesses to promote job creation, especially in emerging sectors like green energy and technology. The Finance Minister says that fiscal deficit for financial year 2025 is at 4.8% of the GDP, and for financial year 26 is estimated at 4.4%.
The revised estimate of the total expenditure is 47.16 lakh crore rupees, of which the capital expenditure is about 10.18 lakh crore rupees. The revised estimate of the fiscal deficit is 4.8% of the GDP.
All right, and for more on this, we're now being joined by Mukesh Bhatani, Managing Partner, BMI Legal Live from Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One. Mr. Bhatani, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Yes, now to begin with, of course, Finance Minister has announced an increased income tax exemption for those with income up to 12 lakh rupees. Of course, there's a lot of ambiguity surrounding this as well. The new tax slabs have been announced. Could you just clarify that for our viewers to begin with?
Well, the only reason the ambiguity has come is because she made a mention that people with income up to 1 lakh rupees per month, which is 12 lakhs per annum, will not have to pay taxes. But that factors in a host of rebates and exemptions that are available. So the minimum threshold remains at 4 lakh rupees. But if you're able to avail of the rebates and deductions, then it can go up to no tax up to 12 lakh rupees. Now, there is an implicit assumption that you would be able to claim all the rebates which are available today under the law. But if you do not have any rebates, then the trigger for taxable limit is 4 lakhs and not 12 lakh rupees. So that's really the ambiguity that people are, who read or who listened to the Finance Minister's speech are grappling with.
Right, so that being said, then, is the new tax regime the bonanza that it appears to be at the moment and everyone thought it would be?
Yes, it is, because there is an effective reduction on the tax liability. Let me just, and there are many features in it. Let me just give you a couple of examples of it. As of today, you get to a maximum marginal rate of 30% when you have income above 15 lakhs. Now you get into the maximum marginal rate of 30% if you have income of 24 lakhs. Second, there is a new rate introduced in place of 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30. There is a 25% rate of tax for income between 20 and 24 lakhs. And then when you go upwards, there is a reduction in the slabs at all levels. So virtually everyone, whose income is above 15 lakhs will benefit from the slab rate changes.
Right, absolutely. That being said, we also saw a focus on labor-intensive sectors like footwear, leather toys, food processing. First of all, I want to ask you, what has driven this renewed push in these sectors?
Well, I think that manufacturing and make in India were the real themes that were there for many many years. Right now, whatever names you see by way of specified industries, which is footwear, mining, electronics design, semiconductor, these are what I would call it as targeted manufacturing. And these targeted manufacturing sectors, which the government feels is offers high potential, not just for the small and medium enterprises, but for large enterprises, multinationals that are moving their global value chains in India, such as electronics and cell phone manufacturers. The benefits have been given to that. A case in point is the customs tariff. So the customs tariff has been materially simplified. There are now only eight tariff rate structures, down from what used to be 23. So seven were reduced in the Finance Bill 2 of 2024, and seven were reduced today. So from next year, you will have only seven tariff rates. Secondly, even within those tariff rates, there are certain products, including seven key minerals, life-saving products that have received reduction. There's reduction in a lot of import of raw materials by way of basic custom duty, including basic custom duty reduction on capital goods imports as well. So if you look at all of these changes from a customs law standpoint, as well as from an income tax standpoint, there seems to be a very calibrated approach towards giving incentivizing or giving benefits to certain specified manufacturing.
Right, Mr. Bhutani, also for better understanding for our viewers, I'm sure a lot of our younger viewers are very early on in their financial literacy journey. If you had to mention the big takeaways from this budget, what would you say those are?
Well, for the younger generation, I think the good news is that the startup, which was a 3-year tax holiday within 10 years of a startup journey, has been extended. This was expiring on startups that commence manufacturing up to March 31, 2025. This has been extended by 5 years. So that's really the big change. Second is there is a fair bit of focus on innovation, technology-led investments. So I think that there are many, many interesting features for the startups and for the younger generation as well.
And with taxation being a major reform area, how will the proposed changes impact corporate India, foreign direct investment, and overall ease of doing business? Do you think this budget is the transformative budget that everyone was hoping for it to be?
Don't know whether I'll call it transformative, but there are many changes for corporate India. Just to name a few, sovereign wealth funds which were which had tax holidays for investments made up to 2025, that has been extended. So that's one very important change because sovereign funds have been investing hugely in many, many large Indian corporates. There were many teething issues on transfer pricing assessments, which were impacting a whole lot of cross-border transactions by Indian multinationals and foreign multinationals. So they have introduced a concept of 3-year block transfer pricing assessment. I think that's a very reformative move that will reduce disputes. There has been a whole lot of changes on the TDS and the TCS sector. It will not benefit corporate India. It will benefit small timers, but it will certainly benefit from a compliance standpoint because corporate India had huge burden on compliances for these very, very small TDS provisions. So there is a lot, many of the penal provisions have been liberalized. There is decriminalization of defaults on TCS. One very reformative change, yes, I must mention, is for electronics manufacturing and designing as well as semiconductor. So this will attract a lot of foreign direct investment because foreign companies who want to move their value chain into India were skeptical about India's regulation on significant economic presence, a business connection rule, taxability of services. So now there is a deemed profit legislation to deal with taxability of these forms of services. So there is a lot in the fine print, I would say.
All right, Mr. Bhutani, thank you so much for joining us on WION World as One with your insights on this.
Welcome.